Alright, welcome back everybody. I will adjust the cameras in just a second because, yes, because we lost
You
Tim.
didn't do that on break?
I can't because I can't see them with the overlay up.
There is a way to
OBS.
do it, but I've never bothered trying to learn it because I just set it up
Studio
everything
mode
ahead.
or something like that.
Yeah, I know there's a way to do it in OBS, but it's like, it's challenging.
I have OBS Studio anyway, yeah.
Yeah, even in OBS Studio, it's like, I know there's a way to do it, which is what I normally use, but I'm like, I don't know enough about this to know, like, to do this correctly.
I normally just adjust things on the fly on air because if the most I ever have to do is like pick a place for my face cam.
Yeah.
So
It's just
usually a lot simpler.
Yes. So, anyway.
Simple? What fun is that?
We'll just try to get this adjusted for me.
Oh,
Go big or go
I
home.
now at least have a green screen or a blue screen, technically.
You have a colored
Which
screen.
makes things fun, yeah. Although,
You
if
have
I'm not careful, my camera goes yellow tinted. Like, I become yellow tinted. Because I drain all the blue out of it.
You should
Oh,
make us
no.
all different people and see who notices.
Oh no, oh no. He has jaundice now.
Anyway, so, you guys take your long rest. You successfully long rest and feel, or no, you just, or were you sure about long resting, actually? I'm sorry.
Short
Short, I
rest
think.
first.
Well, they
Well,
want to do long because
if
they
we
they
do
wanna heal
long,
back.
the people who lost permanent hit points heal them back.
I think what we're gonna do is we could do short rest, then hand the corpse over to the rats. Just make sure everything's kosher there. Make sure we're good.
Okay.
And then maybe long rest.
Okay. So if you hand the corpse over to the rats, they will give you something in return. They will give you a set of bracers.
What kind of bracers?
Tim will identify them, I'm going to say, as bracers of defense.
What they give their attunement and they give you AC +1
+2.
plus.
Holy shit.
Very nice.
Damn.
Yes.
So
That's good for
But you have to be
literally-
wearing no armor or shield.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
Oh, so not
that's
good
what I
for-
was
Well
gonna say.
then.
I would like to petition that I get them because I don't wear armor.
Well, the
'cause
thing
I
is,
can never
Tim could
increase my
also
armor.
use them, but Tim has the Cloak of Resistance. So
Screw Tim!
Tim
Yeah.
also has a lot of
Come right
stuff.
here.
yeah.
Tim
He has
gets all the
wands,
fun
he has a
stuff.
staff.
So the only other person that it would really fit with would be Grits, because she wears, like...
Yeah.
I say grits.
Yeah.
And I literally cannot wear armor.
Yeah.
You can.
You can, it just would hurt you a lot.
It just makes
There's
you
no
very,
point in
very
wearing
dead.
armor.
Okay.
So yeah, red is another option in dire straits.
Yes.
Yeah,
Alright. So...
in dire straits.
Are you going to go take the long rest then, or are you going to go check out the other hall? What do you want to do?
Well, I think Tim was gonna head back to the.
He's gonna, he's gonna
Castle
fly
now.
off to the castle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
to
you don't.
get
You
Robert in.
haven't found your way out to do that yet.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, the way
right.
we came in.
Still. You could go all
No,
the way back
remember-
to where you came in. Though, if
Yeah,
you really
remember
want to.
how we came in was through a doorway, down a massive stairwell, through a
And
cave.
through a bunch of
That's right. I
dangerous
forgot about the
stuff.
stairs.
That's up then, I would say, to Orn, because I think other than Tim, he's the only one who took necrotic damage.
I mean, we can
Yeah.
take the long rest now if you guys want.
So I'd say that's up to Orn. It would benefit him and Tim and Orn, not the rest of us, really.
All right. Well, why don't we go ahead and do that because while they're resting and stuff.
Well, I mean, it'll be you. It hasn't been that long since your last long rest,
Yeah.
though. So
Yeah,
maybe.
so-
It's...
So let's take a peek until around the corner.
Okay.
Okay.
The other hall, as you kind of follow it, kind of moves out, and then it seems to move into a pile of bushes and a giant tree. The large tree seems to be blocking the exit to this place on that other hallway. You could try to move it out of the way with sheer strength, kind of squeeze through, or break through the tree.
Could I squeeze through easier?
You would have advantage on it because you are small.
Is
I'm
there a
gonna
ceiling?
say
Hang on. Friend, go, because Tim's still here at this stage.
Yeah.
Would he be able to cut down the tree?
It could do enough damage eventually if you wanted just to beat at the tree.
if you'd like, I could check out what's on the other side first.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah,
So
before
we
we
don't
start
like
making
drop
much
it on
noise.
someone's house or.
Also a good idea.
So make your
I'm gonna tie a rope around myself.
make a
though.
dexterity check with advantage then.
Okay.
Just as out of curiosity, I'm going to investigate the side of the tree's face for any doors on the tree.
No.
Really?
Wow. Rufus is having trouble getting through. It looks as
He's
though
stuck
like
again.
the tree is repeatedly moved, and it looks like it's sort of like because the hallway kind of opens up to where the tree is.
Can I try an acrobatics check?
Wait, did you say
Hey,
the tree was
hey, Grits.
repeatedly moved?
Yeah. Why don't we just can we ask the tree to move? I know it
Okay.
sounds like a
Also-
stupid idea, but we are in a place where there's
Yeah,
lots of
I
weird
mean,
things.
You
Okay.
could also drop kick Rufus so he gets through.
Aww.
Sure.
Just
Tempting.
his butt.
tempting. But I think asking the tree to move might not be a bad idea.
Okay.
Turn to the tree.
So-
Hi, tree.
Yeah. Tree,
Uh,
could you please move?
The tree has no response.
Damn it.
Knock,
Damn
knock, knock. Excuse me.
Can
It seems.
Is
very
it a
true.
magical thing?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, okay. Let me sit down and do that.
No, it's not magical. You do your ritual.
Okay.
It is not magical.
Yeah. Disadvantage ritual.
Why don't we just try to push it out of the way then?
Am I
Okay.
still poisoned at this stage as well?
No. As soon as you were out of the room for any period of time, you recover.
Okay, cool.
Can I assist or can Nokrin assist the shield guardian to
And
push
try to
the
move it.
tree?
Sure. If you want to.
Yeah, I'll do
You guys
that.
are
I'll
like the
assist him.
biggest, strongest.
Let me just get some information. here.
You should push it the way that it looks like the tree is.
Yeah, I'll push
Yeah.
the way it looks like it moved.
Let me check what we got here. Okay.
Hey guys, we're
Should check
stuck
the
by a
walls.
tree.
While we're doing this, check the walls for like levers or anything.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm
Okay,
still not through, so I'll proceed around
So
too.
you managed to like giving assistance to it. The shield guardian actually will lift up the tree, revealing to the fact that probably the troll was moving through here and lifting up the tree repeatedly
Literally
and then
just
putting
picking
it
up and,
back.
like, walking around and putting
Yeah.
it down.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's not rooted.
No, it's not rooted. It's like a tree that's like lying down in the way.
Oh, you made it sound
okay.
like it was
I-
standing up.
Yeah,
in the
Oh,
totally.
sorry. It wasn't
Yeah.
standing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we
I'm
all
sorry.
thought it was standing up like in
Yeah,
front
we
of
thought
you.
it was a
Talking to
planted
it.
tree.
Oh no.
Yeah,
That's why they're
we were
like,
talking
maybe we
to
should
it.
talk to it.
That's why we were trying to talk to
Oh my god! I thought it was stupider than it was. Now that makes sense now. I thought you were just like going up to like a tree that's lying there and be like, "Hey tree, can you?"
Yeah, you
move?"
didn't say it was lying.
Yeah, you
I
never
thought
said it was
I
down.
thought I mentioned it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
okay.
can't.
Well,
I'm
tree
sorry. No,
is
no.
down the way.
I think I missed the
fairness-
word. I missed the word.
in-
That's okay.
You know.
Well, in
It's okay.
fairness, you also said you could try to chop it down.
Oh, okay. Because I thought like chop through it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When you say chop
yeah.
it down, it makes it sound like it's upright, and we're chopping it and it falls.
No,
And by
technically,
squeezing it
said
around
chop
it, I was
down,
like
and
talking
he
about
said
squeezing
break
like
through
under it and stuff. But I thought you. I think
Yeah,
what you.
I realize now because I said, can he try and chop it down? And then Tad's response was he could try and break through it. And I realize now why he said that.
Oh.
Yeah, it only required one less word, which I think I just accidentally left out, and it changed everything.
Changes everything.
Yeah.
That's why it's a very important
well.
changes.
It's moved out of the way.
Okay.
What do we
Shield
do?
Guardian's like, what the
What
hell
is- what
are you
is-
doing?
As we're moving it out the way.
Okay. You will still require after you get by it to kind of like bushwhack your way out. This is the kind of thing that if you were just the troll, it probably would have just plowed through like the horrible like thorns and bushes here and taken some damage and healed up. But you guys almost have to like kind of bushwhack your way out, and you find yourself emerging into like the scattered remains of what have maybe been like an entryway out in the world again. Surrounding you is a insanely massive forest. The trees from here are far taller than the trees that you've encountered down below. These are probably at least 100 feet tall.
Okay.
I'm also going to point out, wasn't there still a room in there that we didn't check out?
No, this was that way.
In the main hall? No, the main...
No, this was it.
Nope.
Oh, I thought there was another one other than decorative door.
The one that led to the hallway.
It was. That's the
Oh,
one that
okay.
led to the scratchy hallway.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If you look at the map we've
Yeah,
drawn, you
I
can
got
see-
it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep. So you are now out in the world itself once again. You can see, like, you seem to be out in this, like, as I said, massive forest. There's some underbrush here, not too terrible. It seems like there's, like, this, almost as a small opening area that's been mostly eaten up by the forest itself, where this entryway was, with a part of a tree kind of that it's now been moved out of the way, was kind of laying down in front of it, with all like the kind of bushes and stuff that are kind of bushing around here, blocking this entrance.
Well, now we know how he hunted.
Yeah.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah. Do we see the cliff any cliff face anywhere?
Not nearby to where you are at the moment.
Okay.
How do we?
If you
like,
take a
do-
little time and like search around, scout around, you can find it. It is relatively close to where you are.
Give me a second. I need to see Knocker go up a tree a bit
Yeah.
to try and look.
Yeah. You'll shimmy up the like massive tree. Like this forest is
Oh,
like
that's what they're good for.
it's a little reminiscent of like almost redwoody, except not quite as thick as an actual redwood. You know, it's still very tall trees. Some reaching maybe up towards 200 feet.
Huh. Okay.
That's bigger than what we've seen anywhere else.
You can eventually, though, with your little bit of scouting, find the cliff and see that you are indeed at the top of the cliff.
So
you can see
where's-
that you're
can we see the
probably
castle?
like you. Give me perception actually on that one if you want to try to see the castle.
Oh, why?
Bless you.
My sneeze is what made me do terrible perception.
You're looking
You
for
don't
a
see the
sneeze.
castle. You kind of like take a look around. You can see the you can see sight of the two different forests. You can actually see them from here pretty well, since you do have a good sight of like a couple 100 feet up. You know, you can see the forest where the fortifications of the Savage One is, the forest of the Fae. You might kind of see the castle, but it's like way off there, you know?
Okay. So,
You can notice that it looks like you have traveled a little bit. You can kind of see where the river is off to your right from where you are now. So if you wanted to head towards the river where it's the giant waterfall cresting over it, down to where, you know, you were kind of like heading in behind it.
Water
Okay.
slide.
That's a terrible idea.
It is a couple 100-foot waterfall. That seems like a great thing.
What about the one that was on the cliff face? You said there was the castle on the cliff.
You cannot see it right now.
Okay.
It's sort of like it was like from the site of the cliff. You can kind of certain directions. You could see it in
Yeah.
amongst the forest that was up there, but like you're kind of in amongst that forest, so you know you don't necessarily.
I could figure out like which direction to go to
you
get.
can figure out with this kind of referencing where the entrance was and where you are now. You can definitely get a good idea of where it should be.
Okay, I'm gonna relay that information. Then also go. Shall we make camp somewhere?
I think so.
It's going to be at this time that the Shield Guardian will like kind of take its leave and grab Tim and be like, "We're gonna like the Shield." Okay, the Shield Guardian is going to go for. We'll role place for a second here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait,
I am
because
free.
uh,
I can sense it. As Tim will look at the rod, as it will actually crumble into dust.
Oh damn! Okay.
wow, all
As
right.
it kind of like flexes his hand. I have not felt like this ever since I gained my mind. An interesting feeling, as if a burden on myself was removed.
Yeah, you
As-
could kill us now if you wanted.
No.
I'm
my
not saying he
kind.
will, I'm just saying he could.
It will actually kind of chuckle at that for a second. I have many choices I could make. But I believe for now, returning to where you came from should be my next. As much as I feel like accompanying you may help you, I still feel like the danger you spoke of for your people means I have a purpose, at least for now.
Oh, that's a good idea. If you want the repair, I'm going to take off my backpack and pull out the bits and pieces. We bought these pieces in case they might be able to repair. Do you want to take them back as well?
Yes. I can travel quite expediently. Perhaps one of you can come with me and I could return them. At least
Probably a
the
good
trips
idea
to me would not tire me. I could easily fly to your castle, back, and then fly again there. And I believe they probably would be upset by me randomly showing up. I could borrow one of you temporarily.
Tim and I are the best we'll know.
Tim will volunteer.
Of course.
Yep.
Then I shall
Before
take
you
him and
leave?
return him.
Wait, before you
Yes.
leave, don't run away.
Yes.
Grits is going to be like, hold on 1 second, and she's going to actually pull out a piece of paper from her, the back of her, like her little journal,
Mhm.
and just write a quick note to the Thane,
Okay.
with like a very brief update, like found this, still cranium rats,
Mhm.
still some kind of thing that makes mounds of things. Don't know what that was. You know, just like
Yes.
maybe a paragraph where I fold it up and hand it to Tim and ask him to deliver it to Thane,
Okay. Sure.
since she's not going to
I
check
have
in.
no idea what cranium rats are.
And Team Rocket's off again.
Tim temporarily rockets off again. As you see the thing just like take flight quite quickly, kind of like you see it like actually dive bomb off the cliff, kind of heading down it before it then like kind of like evens out and
Levels
goes up.
out.
Yeah.
Well, that looks fun.
Well,
I don't know.
it has more of a it does not technically have a supernatural flight per se. It has like actual wings, but it can sense that there is like an upward boundary that you can kind of can't go beyond for flight.
Like a cage.
Kind of like that.
Hmm.
We're in a bubble, guys.
Yeah, since we're so high, do we notice
Goodness,
anything different with the sky?
Not really. It's kind of an odd thing that you kind of can look down upon the place, but you still feel like you're just as far down into this kind of like basin as you were before. It's like you might be a couple 100 feet up this cliff, but as you look at the walls of the basin, you begin to realize how massive they must be. That they may be like thousands upon thousands of feet tall. Like the walls that are actually around you. That like the only reason this place is relatively well lit is because you have the sun like right above you.
Right.
Is one of the like the islands that are floating around the sun bigger than the other islands, or are they all the same
They
size?
seem relatively the same size, but again, like maybe depending on angle, maybe one of them might be bigger, but you don't have a great.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna say, I think whoever put us here is up on those. If it looks like how high up they are, and the whole looks like I mean, we had someone try to fly up back in town, and that didn't end well. I get the feeling that they don't want us going up there.
Look like we're going up there.
Eventually, yeah.
Put on your climbing boots.
All right.
For now,
I do
rest
have
up.
climbing gear.
So I guess the rest of you
Good luck.
then make like a camp, relax a little bit. You can probably use the area where the entranceway is as a great place to kind of make camp. It's kind of well protected by
Yeah.
like bushes and stuff, and you can probably kind of dig out a little area.
I'll do a survival check.
Sure. But between a lot of you, you can definitely make your way. Are you then just heading for the castle once you're finished your rest?
I provide us food.
And water. You can definitely. Well, the river is nearby, and you can like grab some water.
Oh yeah,
and clean
well
it up,
we're
you know.
totally going to have Tim leave the gourd.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
want that water.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. All right. So once you're finished
Okay.
resting and you can head on your way, the forest itself, as I said, the underbrush itself is relatively sparse. It still has underbrush, but it's not so difficult that you can't like move through it. Occasionally there's patches that are very thick that you kind of either have to really bushwhack through or kind of go around. You do know.
I'll be using my scimitar.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'll use my glaive in this situation as well to try and help.
You seemingly don't run into anything quite as dangerous as you did down below. Your encounters with animals seem to push towards just a lot more
Basic.
Granted, there's still some unusual creatures. You have to avoid like a venomous snake here. You do manage to run into and avoid fight with a leopard, which seems unusual because that seems like something that wouldn't be in this type of forest.
Zoo.
The most dangerous thing that you kind of notice is up on one of the trees that doesn't seem to notice you is a massive lizard. At one point in time, just kind of like hang around on one of the trees.
Turn to Rufus. We can try and tame that later. Continuing
I'm
on.
not helping.
You want to tame everything. It's fine. I understand this.
Well, giant lizards are actually tameable, aren't they? I'm pretty sure they are.
They are probably the most tameable thing that you... Well, the axe beaks are probably just as tameable as this.
Yeah.
I can handle any animal.
Yes.
So you think?
So he says.
And a 1. No.
It does take over a day of travel before you're beginning to see any signs of anything different from what you are. But after maybe about a day and a half of travel, from in amongst the trees, you begin to kind of come across what appears to be a tower in the distance. It kind of like is emerging from in between the trees. And as you're kind of trying to follow it, you emerge into a clearing, and your feet begin to hit what appears to be cobbled stone. And you realize this is actually some kind of road through the forest. It is completely overgrown. There are small grasses and plants emerging from the stones in the road. The columns and statues that probably once lined this road that lead out to what appears to be a set of massive stone walls are kind of overgrown, broken, many of them destroyed. The statues are of armored figures carrying swords and shield, almost kind of held high, almost as procession. They look like the columns that were once in between there were probably finely carved marble, and there are still some intact, but many are cracked and fallen. You follow the road for perhaps maybe a couple thousand feet before you kind of become truly in sight of the massive walls that crown this insanely tall tower behind you, which you're sure is what was seen, as it is probably twice as high as the tallest tree here.
I'm going to look at you guys and go, I don't think we're going to find anyone alive.
Yeah, I'm getting that sense.
Well-
Also, can I just say, before we left the camp, where we camped, I would have left a note with a drawing of the cliff and the entrance and an arrow pointing to that way and saying, we're going to the castle.
Yep.
Just
That sounds good.
because we realize there's no other way you can get back to us.
You
so.
gave them some basic directions. Yep. Okay, go ahead.
I mean, in theory, we most likely won't find a lot of people. Like, the way things are overgrown, yes, there's probably nobody, but there could just be 1 or 2 people that are just surviving, too.
They also could be like elves. They like things overgrown.
Could be, but considering what we found in their base downstairs, this
Well,
society
that's-
may have fell a long time ago.
But that's what I'm saying, there could be just 1 or 2 instead of a bunch.
There could be other people holed up in that place. That's the other option. That may not be the original owners.
Right.
They
I'm
may
just
not have known
saying,
it was there.
let's prepare ourselves for
Oh, I
both
agree.
possibilities.
For depression.
Yeah.
I agree.
Always
Doesn't mean we
prepared.
won't find
Put the-
stuff that's
away.
useful,
Get out.
but
Great
it might
sword.
not be another society that can help us.
Okay. So as you continue down the road, you begin to see the an opening in the wall. You realize there are massive gates of iron, steel, and wood, nearly as tall as the wall. And I'm talking, this is like 150-foot tall walls that are surrounding this thing, like 100 to 150. So it's like up at the top of the trees of the area around it. The massive gates, you realize that only one of them is actually on its hinges. The other one is now fallen and shattered to the one side of it. So these are like massive doors that you, if they were closed, you would have like no way of knowing how to open them.
I guess.
You can see, like, as you're approaching the walls, the vines and trees of the forest are actually eating into them. there are huge holes in these like 10-foot thick walls that are being like devoured and crushed into by the vines and trees around it, as if the forest is definitely encroaching in on this place, breaking into it, breaking it down.
Well, that's old. Very old.
We know the drill.
Well,
Find the shinies. Keep.
Everyone
Our
give
new
me perception, please.
I'm also going to say, well, our new friend said he's been down there a very long time.
One of those is a performance.
Oh, shoot.
I love that's not even a natural one. That's just I got a 1 because of bad I rolled.
That's better.
Damn it.
Okay. Grits, you and Rufus, as you're kind of walking towards the doors, you think you see something moving beyond the gates, but then it disappears, like out of sight.
Immediately, like, hand up, stop.
But it's like
Something
way
big?
far away. No,
Something big or
like
just
something like maybe person-sized.
Yeah, I'm going to put up a hand too.
Yeah,
I saw movement.
I did too. And then point to kind of where I saw it.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're like
good.
at least 500 feet away from where you would have seen that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
If you
Nokran's
want,
gonna like go, like gesture to, like, try and gesture to his weapons, even like full hands and without speaking, just like.
I'm gonna look at you guys. If you want, I'll scout ahead.
I think, yeah,
Okay.
Nokran, you and I, maybe we should hang back. Let
Mhm.
and point to.
You- I would say
The stealthy
maybe
one.
slowly approach, but wait for a signal to come close to us.
Yeah.
Okay. How far are you getting close to where the doors kind of are?
Who? The ones moving? Are you moving up too? Or-
Orn?
Maybe. You go ahead and roll your stealth.
You already rolled a stealth, so you're either moving or you're not, whether you're stealth.
True. I think I'll hang back.
Okay.
I just don't want to be quite seen.
Yep, okay.
Okay.
So, Rufus, as you approach the doors, you can actually begin to see the decorations that are on these massive doors. Well, it's left of one. It appears to be warriors and soldiers defending the castle and defeating the enemies of this place in incredibly graphic and brutal ways. Like, it is slaughter upon the enemies of this place, almost you could describe it as. Carved on the doors to this place, you know? It's
Like whoever
Oh,
conquered
good.
this place, basically etched what they did.
Oh,
no.
lovely.
It's whoever opposed this place.
Ah.
That's the best way to describe it. Not conquer, from the way that it's like predicted. It's like the same soldier figures that you saw the statues of, you know, that kind of thing. Them, you know, like those that seem to be opposing it, kind of being brutalized.
Thinking back, I'm also gonna go. Oh, look out for statues.
Statues?
Yes.
I'm too far to hear
I
that.
run into a lot of constructs at this stage. Look
That's
out for
true.
statues.
Yeah. Other than that, you do not see any sign of anything as you approach the doors. It does seem to lead into what looks to be like a main street almost of a small village, or a decent-sized village leading up to the. Now you can see the tower is the central piece of an insanely sized castle. That
Is
in front
the
of you.
village itself overgrown?
Yeah, there are trees, plants everywhere, damage.
I'm going to try to stay as low as possible and keep to where I can hide.
There isn't a lot of places to hide unless you move into the buildings.
I can dash.
Into the buildings?
Well,
Like, just
Oh,
dashing
no.
doesn't give you stealth.
well, you
Yeah,
said there's
actually,
trees
dashing
and
breaks
stuff,
your
isn't
stealth.
there?
Yeah, the trees are kind of not, like, in the middle of anywhere. They're
Ah.
kind of, like, in clusters. Many of them are around the buildings and stuff.
Ah,
Well,
You actually move slower when you're stealthing.
Yeah.
true.
From what you can see from this angle, it looks like large portions of
Unless
this
you're a monk.
area have been eaten up by forest. That looks like the massive walls that you see no longer encapsulate the entire place as well as they did. It looks as though this like main entryway is the area that has been the least damaged by the woods themselves. As I said, there's a number of buildings here, mixture of whether they're intact or not. Some of them look like they could be, checked out. You can see signs of larger buildings in the nearby area that you could probably check out. And of course,
I want to make us. Oh, sorry.
From where you're entering to the right seems to be a large building beyond parts of the village that you can kind of see. And to the left, you can see the towers of what might be some kind of cathedral.
Okay. I want to make a survival check, see if I see any tracks around this area.
Okay.
Like, right around the entrance.
Sure. You see some animal tracks, where there's areas where the cobblestone has been kind of broken down. But again, since this area was originally cobbled, you're not getting a lot of actual tracks.
Right. I was also just looking for any of that area that maybe where grass is growing through and it's worn down, or...
You can see areas that see signs of maybe, like, things passing through, but it's pretty open to the forest at this point in time, so...
Doesn't look like any human traffic that I can notice.
Unfortunately, not enough signs for you to tell the difference between it. It could actually be humanoid traffic also, or animals, very easily, because you're like grass and little patches of dirt on cobblestone.
Right. In that case... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, quick question. The buildings are normal human size, or
Normal
are they...
human size. Everything is medium-sized.
Except for the front gates, which are massive.
Yeah, the front gates, which are like the size of the walls themselves almost.
Okay. Just to be clear, because I was curious.
I'm going to gesture.
Okay.
Waddle, waddle.
I guess we'll go moving on up.
Waddle, waddle.
I don't see any direct signs of people. Stuff has moved through here, but it is open up to the elements, so it could just be animals.
Okay.
It looks as there are about 5 buildings on this, I would call this main street that you're on right now. 3 of them seem to be very overgrown with plants and trees and stuff that are kind of flanking you near this area. 1 is kind of intact, leading in this kind of open, I would say, main thoroughfare. There is also a collapsed one over near the castle, and one that seems to be intact over near the castle itself. If you kind of like move forward past these buildings into the city square, you can see that these shops, was what they probably were, are kind of engulfed. There are some carts and stands that have little, like, you can't really tell. You can tell because of their positioning. They were probably carts and stands, but it's like rotting heaps of wood that have kind of like mostly deteriorated away. You can see that the cobblestone itself probably had intricate tiling to it, so it was well like made. As you kind of are getting closer into this square, you hear this noise as you see the doors to the castle itself, the large iron doors, seal up, as if something just closed them.
Okay.
You can see elaborate carvings and statues of all kinds of strange creatures decorate the buildings here. Things that you have never seen and are completely alien and horrible to you. And upon the castle, they are most prevalent. You can actually hear a few birds here and amongst the trees. But other than that, which is not 100% unusual, but you don't tend to hear a lot of birds unless you enter the forest areas. But other than that, this place is very quiet and very seemingly deadly silent.
We may want to stop here because it's almost 11 before we start exploring.
That's true.
Well, in character, what I would actually say is, well, they're smart enough to use doors. Maybe we wait for the person that understand people, because I feel like we don't want to offend these guys.
So you just want to like stand here in the middle of the street and wait, though?
No, I say we turn.
Well, I
back
mean,
and go,
there's going to be a Deus Ex Tim in like as soon as we start up next time.
What I'm gonna say is, I say we go outside and wait for Tim.
Okay.
Okay.
You could
Or
definitely
got it.
do that. All right. Well,
To
well
just carefully sneak backwards out.
yeah.
Sneak, yes.
Well, I think they know that we're here now, so I don't think we really have to.
Yeah, they know
Yeah,
we're here. They went and shut
since
the
the
door.
castle door is closed
You
on
just,
their
come
own.
on, that's the universal. You are not welcome. So we come back when we
The
have
thing
someone
is,
that can
you
understand.
did not see anybody.
They put their no solicitor.
They
Yeah,
saw
it-
us. That's all that matters.
Or it could just be an automatic response that maybe we stepped on a trigger or something.
We saw something move. I'm putting two and two
Are you
together.
We saw something move, but at the
Okay.
same time, we don't know if it was a creature or if
Better
it
idea.
was a person.
You didn't get
Back
a good
out?
sight of it.
Magic.
Next time we come through, I'll do my ritual thing that allows me to see the magical stuff, and we'll go back through again.
Sounds good. You'll figure it out. Don't worry.
Yeah.
There's plenty of to check out around town if you want
Yeah.
to, and a nice castle in front of you, like an
Well,
epic
let-
castle.
Yep.
Yeah.
The thing is,
Bitches love
the
castles.
something that definitely Grits will touch on that I will let her know. This castle is much bigger than it should be for a town of this size, from what it looks like, which is unusual.
Okay.
Does the castle make us panic?
No. You already fought troll anyway. But orcs and goblins, not around.
Well, we fought goblins in the first part of the game. Well,
That,
yeah.
Yes, you did, and you haven't met
And
orcs.
then we got magically nom-nommed by an eye.
I nom noms. There you go.
The best kind.
Yep.
So,
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, I do have a description of the most prevalent statue around here. It seems to be a cross between a spider, a bat, scorpion, and snake, and a little bit of almost humanoid features.
Oh,
Lovely.
that's terrifying. That is actually terrifying.
cool.
It seems to be the most prevalent of all the strange creature carvings.
Hey, Tempest,
Yes.
are we level 4?
No.
Damn it.
Damn it.
So you said we were close. Now it's like, okay, you don't
I think-
mention that you're close unless it's like gonna happen.
Well, we're not finished.
He said we're on our way. He did say we
on
were
our
close.
way.
Yeah, I said you were on your way.
We
You
haven't
said
finished
well
this
on your
part of
way.
the
Yes.
quest.
Yes.
Yes. Basically, they're
Probably after the castle area.
well, no. Technically, somewhere in the middle of the castle area.
Ah.
Once you enter the
Okay.
castle, there are things to do inside the castle related to what is in the castle, and accomplishing certain parts of there will level you up to 4. So
I'm gonna level myself up.
that gives you an idea of how long it will be, because it depends on how long you explore anything around here and deal with anything around here, which for you guys, I have no idea sometimes.
6 sessions later.
It could really be 6
Or-
sessions later
Or
with you guys.
we sprint for the castle.
Do it.
You could
6
definitely
months
try
later.
to. Anyway.
Tempest,
You can
we
definitely
hit fast
try.
forward.
There's interesting things to find here. I'm gonna say that.
Am I interested?
Well, I mean, yeah, sure. But
Interesting.
they're not gonna
enough.
find you here.
Oh.
You're lost. Sorry.
Oh. When did we lose
Okay.
Rufus?
He's there yet not there. He's Schrodinger's Rufus.
The real question is, when is Rufus gonna find himself?
Once we camp again.
Rufus gets his groove back. Oh God,
Once I find a sheep.
Groove.
groove back. Anyway,
Once I
all right.
find a sheep, I'll get my groove back.
So, thank you everyone who's joined us today. Why don't we go around and everybody give a shout out to who they are. We already got Winter because he left early. Tesh, we'll start with you as usual.
Hello, I am Tesh of the Test Tube. You can find me under the Test Tube on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Twitter's where you find most of what I'm doing, but I'm pretty consistently here. I'm also going to be. I'm also Sundays at 7 p.m. EST, and sometime in the future on Wednesday. Oh, sorry, the Sundays one is on Ollie Rant's channel, and the Wednesday one that will eventually be happening is at 8 p.m. EST. It's going to be on Diamond Worm's channel.
We just need another person.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, it sounds.
I'm starting to get more and more addicted to D&D, so I expect that to increase.
You're like, I need my fix. I need my
Well,
fix.
I find myself thinking about what I'm going to do next session, the day after the session, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yep.
See, That's when we're having a good time, you know. That's definitely the best times.
So you're like, we could do. That's a bad idea.
Rachel.
I'm Rachel or Jade Vala. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, anywhere else gaming people are found. So yeah, Jade Vala. I'm also sometimes playing Siege with these guys on Monday, bringing down the team, you know, like a boss. And
it can't any be worse than what I do often, which is
I look at it this way: somebody has to be in last. I will proudly be that anchor.
I am not in last, but I will probably cause the deaths and doom of my fellow teammates by poor plays.
Yeah, sorry about getting sassy with you, man.
I am
Sometimes,
bad
man.
sometimes. I am bad sometimes. Look, when you guys are playing at like 2 in the morning, I love playing at 2 in the morning. I am not making great decisions at that point in time.
Like
that's what you have to accept. I'm fine. I'm awake. I'm fine with playing, but I'm not going to make great decisions.
Like, Tantus will be playing with us, and like one of us will be laying down trying to like get a side on someone's feet through a door, and Tantus will walk, step on that person's head, and shuffle back and forth in front of them. Like,
that was
about
only
right.
once. Anyway,
it's a good example, though.
Joe, how about you? Shout.
You'll find me here.
Yep. That's
I'll
accurate.
see everyone this Saturday. I will make sure to set an alarm, and hopefully no major issues happen.
Yeah, and I'm going to try to get someone on to talk about the We'll try to get the topics we had from last week. I'm going to go through them and find out. But I'm going to get someone on because a lot of crazy crap happened with magic. So I want to make a magic guest on to talk about, like, the stuff that's maybe stupid that they're doing, but maybe not. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. We'll discuss that. And of course, too.
Hi. I stream every now and then, now that I have internet again. I am on this game. I'm on a game Sunday on Worms channel. Wednesday, we need to find another goddamn person.
Yes.
God damn it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's about it.
Yep. As for myself, you can find me here daily, the Dracovin Empire, and I will be back tomorrow morning for should be Darkest Dungeon. We're moving towards the end. I didn't announce it this morning, but when Darkest Dungeon is done, I will be, which is probably going to still be a little while, but I totally got from Humble the really, really cheap XCOM 2 and all the DLCs. It was like 50% for all the DLCs. So I was like, I will take that. That is value worth it. So
I'm sorry, I don't think I'll be able to watch that one.
Yeah.
If you were in Ollie's chat when he did Mario Rabbids, you'll know I have some ticks.
Look. It's just the same with Darkest Dungeon. I am semi-competent because I've watched a bunch from people before, same with XCOM 2, so I know a little bit about the general thing. I'm not as good on the end game, and that's about it. So
that doesn't mean you're going to make good tactical decisions.
No, it doesn't mean I'll make good decisions.
That's where I get, like,
and it's RNG too. That's the thing is, I might kind of know what's going on, but it's like in Darkest Dungeon the other time I played, which is one of the reasons I've been kind of delayed, because one of my Vestal became afflicted, and then did a random attack on my Musketeer and killed her. And it was like, why did you do that? And then past turn. It hurt my soul. Anyway, yeah, discussing tabletop on Saturday, and next Tuesday will be the first session of Legacies of Kain, the vampire game that does have Tiv in it, along with Dunce, Bubblegum Viking, and the Carpe Diem. So it'll be a fun one.
I'm a Malkavian.
Yes, we have a Malkavian, a Ventru, a Bruja, and a Nosferatu, and they're all gonna
walk into a bar.
They really are gonna probably walk into a bar at some point in time. I'm sorry, it's a vampire. You always end up at a nightclub or a bar at some point in time. You can't get away from that. Modern day vampires. Bar is going to happen at some point in time. I don't care. It will. Anyway, I think that's about it. Remember, check out the YouTube channel. I haven't been uploading a lot this week because a lot of crazy crap kind of going on in personal life, but I'll try to throw up, like, last week's Madness is going up tomorrow, just because I couldn't get it out today, and I'll try to get all the rest of the stuff out for next week then. And remember, check out Twitter, Discord, Patreon, all that kind of stuff. And anyway, we'll be back next week where they're going to explore Ruined Castle. It's going to be fun. I think I remembered everything. I'm so forgetful at the end of these things, so. But anyway, so long, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.